The Walnut Creek Extension District, a division of K-State Research and Extension, covering Rush, Ness, and Lane counties. Here's Insight with Extension.
In the past week, sorghum ergot has been detected in several Kansas locations, in Ness County being one of the most impacted, primarily in forage fields, but also in grain sorghum. This is a relatively rare event, but recent weather has created the perfect storm. This fungus infects unfertilized sorghum between flowering and pollination. Pollen present at the same time as ergot inoculum usually prevents ergot infection because pollination occurs much more quickly. The absence of pollen in male sterile sorghum fields makes them extremely susceptible to infection when both the pathogen and a favorable environment are present. Sorghum ergot can also be a problem if pollen is somehow absent or ineffective at the flowering stage. This can occur if the plants were subject to cool, moist conditions prior to or during the flowering period. Anything that reduces pollination increases the potential for ergot infection. Sorghum ergot is a grain replacement disease that causes two major problems. First, the infection of non-pollinated seed set or development. Thus, infections are directly responsible for grain yield loss. Secondly, the seed developed adjacent to the infected florets often become contaminated with sugary droplets, or honeydew, which is a sweet, sticky, amber-colored fluid. The honeydew can also spread to other plant structures and leaves below the developing head. Honeydew is typically observed 7 to 10 days after the initial infection. The honeydew consists of liquid Cnidas spores that exude many diseased florets and most visible during cool, damp weather. Honeydew production might affect grain and forage sorghum quality, but it is not associated with alkaloid toxins, which occur only in sclerotia. Once production is complete, and especially when the honeydew production has ceased, there is no risk of sclerotia production. Fungicide applications at this point are not effective. Harvesting the sorghum for grain or silage is going to be difficult due to the sticky nature of the honeydew. If portions of the field are more severely affected than others, you may consider not harvesting that portion or working around that. Delaying harvest until after a rain or a freeze will help reduce the amount of honeydew. And honeydew can cause mold formation in baled hay, so make sure you get the windrows dry before baling. The presence of alkaloids, which are toxic to livestock feeding, is reliant on the production of sclerotia, and at this time that has not been verified in any Kansas fields. Continuing to monitor this situation and evaluate the infections present in Kansas. Testing is not currently an option for this particular strain, but the honeydew is not toxic, so the biggest threat currently is getting the milo through a combine. If you see or know of fields that are not already identified, please contact a local extension office.
Insight with Extension on Thunder Country 93.5.